This video is going to be on how to adjust, or not how to adjust, just how to check your valves on a CRF 150R and CRF 150RB. It is a little bit different than the 250, but it's really similar. The engine part is the same, it's just getting to the engine that's different. And how to check it, because there is a pipe in the way on the 150. But this video is just going to be on how to check the valves, not how to adjust them. I might make a video on how to adjust them. But for the most part, your valves won't normally need adjusted that often. The 150s seem to be pretty good with valves compared to the 250s, the late model 250s. Okay, so the first step is to take and get a 10mm socket and ratchet and remove this bolt and remove this bolt. And then after you remove these two bolts, the seat should slide right out. Should slide up and then just slide backward. Slide up and then you just pull it backward a little bit. It's a little hard to do with one hand, but it can still be done. So once you have the seat off, the next step is to take the gas tank off. And the first thing you want to do is turn off the fuel. And then, can you see, like, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up too well, but bottom of the carburetor is a little screw right there. You take this hose that goes to that screw, pull it out, and you make sure that you have this draining into something that can hold the gas. And you definitely, I already said to have the gas off, but you need to have the gas off before you loosen up that screw. Because if you loosen up that screw and the gas is on, it'll have the gas run through your fuel tank, through the carburetor, and out the hose. And then it will just go into wherever you're having the gas go into. So with that being said, I'm going to do that step and then continue with the video. So after you've loosened up that screw and drained all the gas out, you're going to want to tighten that screw back up to the way it was. And then you're going to want to take, and there's a little strap right here. You're just going to push it down and then pull back and it will come off. And then you take and you push up there and it comes right off like that. You're going to want to make sure that you don't lose that, because that is important. And then you're going to want to take off the side panel, or this radiator shroud panel piece. And it has 8mm screws, as 3 of them in the gas tank, 1 in the radiator. For my bike, the 3 that were in the gas tank shroud are all the same length screws, but the one that's in the radiator is a different length. So do that to both sides, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All you need is either an impact like this, because impacts work really well, it's a lot easier, or not. It's hard to do with one hand. But either you need an impact like this, or you need some sort of ratchet. So I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of these screws out, and then I'm going to go to the next step. The next step, after you've taken off both the radiator shrouds, is to go ahead and take and get this little, there's like a little metal piece, you can't really see it on the camera though. You want to take and slide that up here. Or you can take and slide this one down here. But either way works. I think it's easier to do the carburetor. But once you have the metal piece off, you want to go ahead and get a rag and take the gas line off, because gas is going to come out of the gas line. A lot shouldn't, but a little bit will. So after you've taken that little clamp off, you're going to go ahead and remove the gas line and make sure you have something to catch the gas, because gas on paint is not good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like after. So after you've removed the gas line, there's a screw right here. And a screw right there that you're going to want to take out. This one right here. And once you take those out, the gas tank should come right off. And you should be able to see the valve cover, the top of the valve cover. You should be able to have clearance all right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this gas tank off. I've already loosened up the screws. And I'm going to show you the next step after that. So after you've removed the gas tank, it's going to look sort of like this. And the next step is if there's any dirt at all on top of the valve cover, on top of this pipe, anywhere, which if you ride it in dirt, then there should be. Even riding on a blacktop, there's probably going to be dirt. You're going to want to take and cover the air filter. You want to make sure you have this all covered up. The sides too, right in here. And right in there. And then you're going to want to take and put a plug over that carburetor, the hole right there. Because if water gets in your carburetor, it can rust stuff and it can corrode, and that can really mess up your carburetor. But you're going to want to take and spray it with degreaser after you've covered everything up and wash it off so there's no dirt. And after you do that, I'm going to show you the next step. So here's what it looks like after you wash it off. And if you notice, when you wash it off, it has a lot of water on it still. And water and oil do not mix. So the next step is to take and dry as much of it off as you can, and then let the rest of it air dry. But as you can tell, most of the mud came off pretty easily. Still some on there, but most of it's just stuck on mud. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this off. And it is important to dry it off with like a rag, because then if there's any more dirt that's left on it, you can get a lot of that off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So the next step after your bike is dry is to take the spark plug wire out. There's a little hole right here. And the spark plug wire, which I just took out, is in that hole. And all you have to do is pull the spark plug wire out and then put it behind the radiator hose so it doesn't get in your way. And then the next easy step is to take and slide this hose off right here. It's a vent hose on top of the valve cover. And then the third step, which I'm going to be doing in this segment, is taking and loosening up these. You're going to want to loosen it like one and then loosen the other. Now because these are already loose, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take one out and do the other one. But if they're tight, that's what you need to do. And you want to make sure there's no water on your bike when you're doing this, because water can really mess stuff up. So I'm going to go ahead and take those bolts out and show you the next step. So after you've taken this bolt and that bolt out, the valve cover should simply lift right up. Just grab it by the feeler right there, or by the breather tube, and you should be able to get it off pretty easily. But you need two hands to do it, so I can't videotape this. So you're going to want to take it off and lift it up and take it out the side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that you have the valve cover off, and here's the valve cover, you're going to want to take and make sure your hands have no dirt on them. And you're going to turn the engine over with the kickstart till those two lobes in the middle are facing straight up. And once you have them facing straight up, you simply take, and there's a little slot, it's kind of hard to see. Back here you can take and slide a feeler gauge in, and the feeler gauge will tell you if you need to adjust it or not. And you always want to make sure and check with your owner's manual to see what they should be. But you're going to want to slide it in there, And then after you've checked those and made sure that they're in, I'm not sure what it's called, make sure that they're like adjusted properly, you're going to want to take and make sure these lobes are back. They're at the back. And then you're going to check these front ones. And you're going to want to make sure that it's also not on the compression release, because that's near the back too. Because this is the compression release right here. At higher RPMs it opens, and when it opens it's a flat notch, when it closes it's a round notch. And that just allows that valve to be open a little bit when you're kickstarting it. So that's about the top right there. And as you can tell, this valve has no, and this valve has too much. The other valve doesn't look like it moves at all, so that's not a good sign. Yep, completely tight. So that's probably going to need adjusted. Not sure how you adjust these. I haven't been able to try that yet. All I know is that to adjust the other ones, you use shims. And to adjust the front ones, there are no caps on it, so it doesn't look like you can put a shim. But there's also not a screw to adjust it. So that's going to be interesting. But once you're done checking the valves, you just put it all back together, and then it should be good to go. You're going to want to make sure that you torque every bolt that you took off to the factory spec. And you're also going to want to check your oil, because some oil can get lost in the process of doing this. So make sure to do that. You're going to want to make sure that if any dirt does fall in here, any water, to clean all that out, because that can really mess up your engine. But that's all for this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe.